Alright, hey guys, how's it going? Today I'm going to be doing a code demo for a program that I made, I think it was about a month ago. I still need to do some finishing touches on it, but I have the main functionality done for now. So I'm just going to show you the program and then I'll go into the code after. So it's called Drill Language Learning, and I got the idea from learning Japanese actually. One like good method that there's not a lot of support for is drilling. So it's where you hear the translation and then you like repeat it out loud and it helps you with memorization. Excuse my cat, sorry. um, but yeah, you pretty much just repeat with the mp3 file and it helps you learn the language easier. So I can show you what it looks like. So it looks pretty like bad right now with the styles of it and everything, but essentially it's just meant to be an easy way to copy and paste a Quizlet set and then get an MP3 file from it. So you can listen to it and then you can repeat it and it'll help you learn the language better. Or you could also use it for just studying, like if you don't have time, like you're in the car on the way to take your test or whatever, you can just copy and paste your Quizlet set into here and you can listen to it on your way to school or whatever you're doing. So it doesn't have to be with language learning, but it just happens to be the use case that I made it for. So I have a pretty simple Spanish and English Quizlet set. So all you have to do is go to export and then you copy the text and then you'll just go over to the text box and paste it, and then you'll hit submit. And this part kind of takes a while. It's not the most efficient program. It's using Google's speech to text, or sorry, text to speech, I mean to say. I always mix them up in my head. But he uses Google's text to speech, and it's kind of slow. Yeah, I am working to make it a little bit faster, but this is the best that I have for now. And I'm thinking you can see that it's working up here, but I'd like to have like a little loading bar and maybe like a cancel button if you decide that you like didn't want to actually convert it into an MP3 file. And then once it does finish downloading, I just have it as text.mp3. I can probably change it, but I've already like done this a bunch of times with a bunch of different Quizlet sets, so that's why it has text and then the number 10 there.
Buenos días. 3, 2, 1. Good morning.
Buenas tardes.
3, 2, 1. Good afternoon.
Buenas noches. 3, 2, 1.
Good evening.
¿Cómo estás?
3, 2, 1. How?
So I think you get the idea from that right there. It's pretty simple, but it gets the job done, and I think that it has like a lot of different use cases for learning, and Quizlet is really popular. So let's see. So that was pretty much the main functionality for it. After it downloads that, yeah. Okay, so I'll probably go into the code a little bit. So this is a pretty basic layout for a Flask application. You have the app.py that runs the Flask, and then I have two supporting programs that help with the functionality of the program. And then, yeah, the requirements, template, static, it's all just to help Flask run and for the actual like website to be displayed. So I have in templates, I have an index.html file, which is what you see right here. It just displays that pretty much, just a text area with a submit button. And then after you hit the submit button, it'll route you to the /mp3, which is where it runs my supporting programs. So I have the method here, mp3. So it will take what was ever in that text. It'll print it out to the console. So you can see it here. I have it printed out. So it has all of the Spanish first, or sorry, it has the Spanish and then it has the English just as it was copied and pasted into the text area. And then you can see, I'll show you in the other program, I have it printed as key and value pairs to help with translating it. So yeah, so it calls Quizlet mp3, which is a method that I imported from this. So here, this is just an example, you don't have to worry about this, but pretty much it will take in that pasted text that's always the same format from Quizlet, and it will put it into a dictionary. It will split it on \t, which I think is just a tab. And then it'll assign it to key and value pairs for the dictionary. And then it will open a file called text.mp3, and if it's not already made, then it'll create it, or it'll write to it. So I go through each of the key value pairs, and I detect the key, and then I detect the value. So this could theoretically be a bunch of different languages all in one Quizlet set, and it would be able to detect and write them to the file. So it writes the key, and then I have it write in some. This was mostly for time, so you have time to think about what the answer is. And then, yeah, you repeat it out loud. So it just adds more time in between when it reads the key and the value. So I have it write, and then I have it write, and then it'll just loop through and do this for all the keys and the values. And then I think I had to write my own method for this. I didn't want to put it all in one program. I wanted to condense it a little bit more, so I wrote it in a separate program called detect.py, which is where I get this method from, and it uses text blob to detect the language. And I experimented with a couple different types of language recognition programs, and this one was by far the best one. So it just takes in text. I need the length of it, and then I make a text blob object, and then I return the detected language. So the reason why I have this length check method here is because I can't detect the language if the length of it is less than 3. So what I did as a little cheat for this is I appended underscores to the string until it was at least a length of 3, and then I would just run length check again. It's a recursive function, and then I would just return it. So it would take like h, say h was what was submitted, and then it would append another underscore so that it would append 2 underscores in total, so it'd have a length of 3. And then it would just spit it back into here. So yeah, I hope that made sense. It was pretty much just to fix an error with detecting words that were too short. So once I got that error fixed, it could detect, like, if it said he, it wouldn't be able to recognize that because it's too short. So it would turn into he underscore, and it would still be able to accurately detect the language with the way that text blob works. So that one took me a while to figure out, but I finally got it. So that's what it does to detect the language. I tried experimenting with the slow and false parameters, and when it is slow, it's kind of hard to understand a little bit, especially if it's in a different language. It can sound kind of weird. And I think for language learning, you want to hear it as close to the correct pronunciation as possible so that it can help you know how to pronounce it too. But yeah. And then, so at the very end, it will do the send file function, which makes it so you can download it as text.mp3, which is why you saw it's the same name every time. So I had like 10 of them. And then, yep, that's just to start the application. And I think that's it. So there are obvious aesthetic things to add here. It's very basic looking. And I also have Heroku set up for it too. I don't have it running on Heroku right now, but I have it set up so that I can if I want to. But yeah, I think that's pretty much it for this program. Thanks for watching. Let me know in the comments if you have any questions or anything, and I'd be happy to answer. All right, have a good day.